that.
Because I always say, you're not my friend. You are not my friend.
I'm not one of your little friends.
I'm not one of your little friends.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
tell me all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't one of your little friends.
Everybody wants recognition. They want the thank you. They want the recognition. But by the time I'm to the third kid, everybody's paying attention, and now everybody wants a thank you. And they're like, but I get this a lot.
The theatrics of the
Miss K. And I'm like, I'm ignoring you.
My favorite is when they're like, I fell at recess and I like hurt my leg so bad, and then they like run off to their desk and I'm like, it is a miracle. Like, I don't know how you went from breaking your leg at recess to running across the room. Like,
I said, man, what happened to you? Why are you limping like that? He said, my hip muscle detached.
Like some dramatic story.
Honey. Like in the middle of the conversation. And everybody's like, oh. And I just look and I'm like,
skate past it. I just keep going.
I know, I'm just like, and let's just keep it moving, because at my school, if they cuss, we have to give them a referral automatically.
Hey, best friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty. I am Honest Teacher Vibes, your bestie, and I am joined by two lovely ladies who I feel like are my forever teacher besties.
Oh, yeah.
Tell the people who you
I
are.
want a little pen that says that. Forever teacher besties.
With
a rainbow
It
on
has
it.
to say Honest Teacher Vibes, Teacher
Yes, yes. I want the brand, please.
I got a label.
Please and thank you. Hey, everybody. I'm Anna Kowal, a.k.a. Read Away with Miss K.
You better sing your name, girl.
I didn't know.
You better sing your name.
Off key. It's great.
Yeah, love it. I am Lauren Hoof from Miss Hoof Teaches.
Yay.
Love your name.
I just love that we're the ladies. I just love that
We
we're
have had us
just
a good little time. We are some chatty Cathy's, baby. We
Yeah,
have had
we
us
are.
a good little time.
Listen,
Yeah.
we be chatting
I'm
it
like,
up
this is
together.
mimosas in the morning energy. This
We're
is
talking-
brunch energy.
We're talking in the bathroom together.
Yeah.
We're talking in the hallways
Right.
together.
All
We're
over the
talking.
place.
It's so much
It's
fun.
like men are probably like, do women go to the bathroom by themselves when they're out?
No, we do
No.
not.
It's a party.
Never.
Speaking of parties in the bathroom,
Oh, okay.
you're going to be having a good time when you go with your teacher besties to a bored teacher's comedy show.
Come on, friend. Come on. The
Yes.
pigtails are giving what they're supposed to give. Okay? You and your bestie wear your pigtails to the board teacher's comedy tour.
Yeah, please do it for me. Oh my
kidding.
gosh, and send me pictures. I would absolutely
Pics or it
love
didn't happen.
that.
Yep.
And that's for real though.
Piggies or it didn't happen.
Listen, piggies. Look at the way you said, girls.
Somebody's going to be drunk at a show and they're going to be like, she said piggies, get your toes out.
Oh, no. Ew.
This little piggy went to market.
Oh my gosh. Anytime my shoes are out or my feet are out, my students are like, put your dogs away.
I'm like,
They
your
hate my
breath smells like a
dogs.
dog.
I know. Well, y'all, listen, all fall shows and world tour shows are now on sale. We're going to be all over Australia, all over Canada, and then we're coming back to the old USA for over 20 more cities. Listen to which states we're coming to this fall and go grab those best seats before they're all gone with your teacher bestie. In October, we're going to be in New Brunswick, New Jersey, Springfield, Massachusetts, Poughkeepsie, New York,
You ain't got to tell me how I want to pronounce the word, baby. I know.
Terrytown, New York. How do I say the Sioux City?
How you going to make fun of me for saying
You did.
it's Sioux City? I just bit the inside of my mouth.
Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa,
Des Moines.
Isn't it? I thought it was, never mind.
Davenport, Iowa. We're going to keep it rolling, folks. Rockford, Illinois in November, which are you a Scorpio, by the way?
Yes.
'Kay.
You know, they just tried to change the horoscope to say,
No.
yeah, we'll
You
talk
can't
about it
do
later,
that.
but they tried
Yeah.
to say that November 18th is not a Scorpio anymore. And I said, you're lying.
We have to talk about that later. So in November, we're going to be in Riverside, California, Long Beach, California, Houston, Dallas, Waco, San Antonio, Texas. And in December, to celebrate the holidays, we're going to be in Cincinnati and Toledo, Ohio, Midland and Lansing, Michigan. Nobody knows how to say this word, but it's Pachugi is what I'm going to say, New York for 2 shows.
Wait, what does it look like? I got to see.
We're going to also be in Albany, New York, and Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
How many teachers does it take to
I know, I'm,
pronounce
like,
that?
looking at, like,
What are the phonemes in that word?
And y'all, if you just follow the link underneath in this description below, you're going to see all fall shows throughout the world, including those Australia shows, those New Zealand shows, and all of those Canada shows. And listen to me, the tickets are going to be going fast.
They really do sell fast.
They really do.
It's a good time.
Yeah. And if you didn't hear your city's name, okay, listen to this amazingly good news. Board teachers just launched a new platform called Teacher Speakers, where your school can request any of us hilarious comedians on the Board Teachers Comedy Tour to come out and do a private, I'm talking private comedy show or a keynote speech at your next professional development meeting or a back to school meeting. So tell your admin to check out teacherspeakers.com and make that PD that you've got coming up a good time.
Okay, I like the neck roll.
That's kind of giving.
What about good time?
If you wear your piggies, you have to do the neck roll
Right.
with the piggies. Yes, it's mandatory.
Piggy roll.
I want to know what your students have said. Have you ever worn your
Oh,
hair
I wear
to
my
school?
hair in pigtails a lot. And
What do they say?
I usually do space buns. They love the space buns because
Yeah,
that's
Space buns are
giving.
so cute.
But this, they
They're
would
really
just
cute.
make fun of me.
But you cut your hair since.
I chopped it off. So they've been mean to me ever since I chopped it off because women shouldn't. They're like, no, you should have long hair. And why would you
Oh.
do that? And your hair was beautiful. And I'm just like, well, you come straighten it every day then.
They are
And
so
right.
invested
Yeah.
in what we wear.
They
I
really
know.
are.
What is that about?
I'm like, I wish
really
you were
are.
invested in the lesson.
Yeah. Could you just tell me?
Speaking of being passive aggressive.
Yes. Y'all, we are going to be talking about all the ways that teachers are passive aggressive and sarcastic to their students
Because I don't want to get fired by directly saying like exactly what I want to say.
Right,
You know?
exactly. It's like a nicer way, but they don't always get the sarcasm, so they don't know. you know?
Especially the littles though. Like they don't get. And there are
No.
those out there, mostly who don't teach, that would say sarcasm has no place in the classroom. And I'm like, oh wow, have you ever taught children?
Have you ever talked to a middle schooler?
Okay, they drip sarcasm.
Right,
Like they
yes.
are. Sometimes I can't tell if they're giving me a compliment or they're insulting me.
Right. I know. Sometimes I'm
Like
like,
a
wait, do
lot.
you actually like my outfit? Or are you being mean to me? I can't.
I'm scared to think that
Yeah.
you're.
And I'm like, I don't believe you that you like this outfit.
And I'm
What
always
that's
so
like.
self-conscious as a teacher of what I have on
I
because
know.
they say something. Maybe that's their love language or something. Like checking each other
yeah.
or checking
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
is like their love
I
language.
think I think for middle schoolers, not for you, because you probably get showered with compliments. Like,
Oh, I'm like the
every
most
day.
beautiful person.
Only if
Yeah.
you change something are they
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Oh yeah, if I change something, they're like, "Why did
They're
you
probably
do that?"
confused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like
but-
she giving away state secrets. Why
But
would she?
we have to be careful with our outfits.
Yeah.
One thing that drives me nuts in the hallways, middle school boys always hit the door frame.
Why
no
can they
matter-
not? It's like a moth to light. Like they
Like,
can.
they
It's like they can't not. Yeah.
So every time they do it in front of me, I'm like, whoa, that is so cool, dude. I can't believe
Yes.
it. And they look at me like they want to punch me in the face.
Because
They're like,
stop
wow.
tapping the door frame.
But that
like,
is definitely one of my, every time I'm like, whoa, you're like LeBron up there, man.
Yeah,
Like,
just
you are so
passively
good at
complimenting.
this.
Yeah.
And
or when they
actually-
shoot a paper ball into the trash can. Wow, you really tucked your elbow there. At the
Yeah.
floor.
Amazing.
So good.
Amazing.
So
like
good.
you are gonna go to the NBA one day. Like for sure.
But our
100%.
littles, our kids don't understand because Penny be like, "Mommy, watch this. I'm so fast." I'm like, "Wow,
Oh.
you are like lightning fast."
For
I'm
sure.
like, wow. She's like, "Mommy, watch this. I can run fast again."
Yep.
I'm like, "What? You could do it 2 times? Wow."
And
My
she's
favorite
walking
is when
like this.
they're like, Miss F, can I show you something super cool? I'm like, sure. And they like just spin in a circle, and I'm like, that
Whoa.
was so cool.
I wish I had
Like-
the confidence of a kindergartner.
Oh,
like
the confidence, yeah.
I know that's so sweet.
They don't care what anybody thinks.
They don't
like
care
I,
what anyone thinks.
I wish that
the
I had the
outfit sometimes
confidence.
they come to school wearing, and then they're like, "Do you like my new outfit?" And I'm like, "Beautiful."
It looks
It
Like, I
matches
like-
Our shoes are
perfectly.
Our shoes are on the wrong feet, but yes,
Yes.
it looks
your shoes are on the
great.
feet, and your shirt is inside out. But sure, babes, like that
Love
looks
it.
so good.
Do you
so
think a
cute.
lot of them pick out their own outfits?
Oh yes, and you
Yeah.
know the parents don't want to.
Right.
They don't want to.
I'm
have that
trifling
power
though. I ain't
struggle.
let Payne pick her stuff till this year because
I
like,
don't let my son either. Like
I can't.
But
This
he
one,
also
here
doesn't.
go what you putting on today.
Yeah.
Here go your socks and your shoes. And when I remember the first time Peyton was like, "Mommy, I don't want to wear those shoes. Can I wear these?" I was like, "Oh, you're not a little baby anymore.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me what shoes. I think these shoes are cute."
I
She's
feel like with my because I have a son, and so I feel like it might be different where he might let me for longer, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Because
Peyton's
right now
like-
I just pick his outfit and I'm like, okay, time to get dressed, and I hand it to him and he just gets dressed.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know what age that like changes, but I always know when my students start dressing themselves
Yeah, you
because
can
they come
tell.
to school and I'm just like, your parents lost the battle this morning.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just you know, like
Teachers Off Duty is sponsored by BetterHelp. Let's be real, there's still way too much stigma around men's mental health. And as teachers, especially male teachers, there's this pressure to be the calm, collected role model, even when you're barely keeping it together behind the scenes. Men are expected to handle everything, provide, protect, perform, and never crack. So it's not surprising that over 6 million men in the U.S. experience depression every year, often without even realizing it. But here's the truth. Struggling doesn't make you weak. In fact, talking about it is one of the strongest things you can do. Therapy isn't just for crisis mode. It's for building healthy coping tools, setting boundaries, and honestly, just having someone to help you process life's chaos. Like grading 100 essays in one night. BetterHelp makes it easy. It's the world's largest online therapy platform with over 35,000 licensed therapists and more than 5 million people served. You can connect with a therapist from wherever you are, between classes, after dismissal, even during that magical planning period. And if it's not a perfect fit, you can switch therapists anytime. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/TOD. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TOD. We are all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/TOD today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TOD.
But I feel like Peyton's a girly girl, so she probably
She's
can pick
really
out
girly
cute
girl.
outfits.
Cute.
She wanted to wear these little ballet flats to school the other day because they're sparkly.
Stop.
And I said, Peyton, I think these are going to like rub your toe and it's going to hurt
Yeah.
really bad, baby. I was like, she's like, Mommy, I don't think it will. It'll be fine. I said, P, Mommy, please. I have a dress on. They're so cute. They just go like Belle wears them, and I was like,
shoot.
say
Belle's a
your
princess.
say your kid knows how to manipulate you.
Yeah,
You gotta say it
right?
again. I said, okay, Peyton, and what'd she come home after school with?
Blisters.
Mommy, I got a little boo boo on my foot, and I'm like, I know you do because I told you.
Yeah, right.
Didn't I tell you know what? Didn't I tell you that was gonna hurt? See, look at you. Okay, if it ain't the consequences of my actions.
At least she showed you and didn't like try to hide it. And
No,
Yeah, she's
Peyton
like-
is a diva, baby.
Is she?
She is gonna let it be known if Mommy, I got a scratch on me. Like, what is this? I remember one time when she was like 3, she was walking down the stairs of our apartment complex and there was water on the rail and she goes, "You, Mommy, water." I want to say, girl, I will push your arm the whole way through. What is going on?
I can't. I feel like little kids don't care at all. That's so cute that she's
No.
like that. Oh my, because that's how I am now. I'm like, oh, gross.
Well, y'all know I like just well, you don't because we just met
Yeah.
like for these episodes. But I used to like dress mostly like athletic,
Yeah.
golf pants,
Yeah.
quarter zip.
Yeah.
But in January, I was like, okay, like let's try to dress a little
Look
bit.
at you following
more-
through on your New Year's
I'm
resolution.
so proud of myself.
You're
It's like the
doing
only
it.
resolution I've ever kept.
Little headband matches. You're doing
Feeling
it.
yourself? Yeah.
Love
That's the only
it.
resolution like I've ever kept. But I can't remember what I was gonna say. I turned 35.
You know,
Were you
I
going to say something with the
forgot.
kids commenting on it and then you were.
No, I
No?
forgot.
Okay.
Something about
Well,
Peyton, but
I
I
was
can't
thinking
remember.
of boo-boos. I was
Yeah,
like,
I can't
I'm
remember.
I was
just
going to
gonna
say something about that too.
like when kids come up and they think that a Band-Aid's gonna cure everything, and like even a middle schooler will be like,
I
Miss
know.
K, I got a boo-boo on my finger and there's nothing there, and I'm like, let
There's
me see, and I'm
nothing.
like, oh my god, we should go to the nurse.
I
We should,
was
because
gonna
it's
say the
usually like
same
I need a
thing.
little break. Like I could use
Yeah.
a break and have one less kid in my classroom. So yes,
You go straight
that
to the
looks
nurse.
so bad.
Oh
Do
my
you think you
gosh.
broke it? You should go ask the nurse if you broke
I'll
that.
do the same
'cause
thing, or I'll be like, do you think we should like call an ambulance? Like that looks pretty bad.
That's serious.
Or like, did your parents ever do the traumatizing? Like, do you think we should cut it off? Like, remember that like classic?
I cannot to
No,
Like,
my-
we need to cut off your leg because you have like a scratch, and then you
Yeah.
panic. You're like, no,
my
like.
parents didn't do that.
Really?
To me.
See,
Thank
I had like
goodness.
my dad was like a dad joke dad.
Oh,
like, and so he
gosh.
had all of like the
Okay.
like
Yeah,
the typical things.
Have
you know?
y'all seen that trend on TikTok that the parents are like, "Man, I'm so hungry, I could eat a kid
Yes.
right now."
Yes.
I did that to my
That's
son.
so cute.
I did that to my son. I said a kid in his class, and he was like sitting there, and I'm like, I'm so hungry, I could eat. And I saw a girl in his class, and he like looks up, he goes, "In my class?"
Yeah.
Like,
Peyton,
it was just so cute.
I said it to Peyton. I said, "Man, I'm so hungry, I could eat a kid right now." Peyton goes, "Mommy, what you say? You okay? What's happening?"
I
That's
love that.
so cute.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh,
that
because they're so literal.
much.
Yeah,
Like they're
so
so
literal.
literal.
That's
I
what I love
know.
about being able to be sarcastic with the kindergartners because
they're
they
very
half
little.
the time they have no idea. It goes
Yeah.
so over their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll post like videos like that and people are like, that's so bad that you said that. I'm like, they had no idea what I said. Like
no.
they did not even have a single clue.
We gotta make ourselves laugh every once in a while to
for
survive
sure.
the day
Or sometimes
here,
like
you
there's
know?
another adult in the room and I'll like make a
Yeah.
like funny comment
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
and it'll go completely over the kid's head with the
Yeah.
adults laughing.
Yeah.
Because they know. You know
I'm
having a
like,
good
I
time.
got older and I realized SpongeBob had a lot more like jokes in it than what I
Right,
realized was
exactly.
as a kid. Even
Oh,
like
yeah.
some of the like Disney cartoons and movies
Oh,
and stuff. I'm
yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah,
I'm like,
for real.
I didn't catch that one.
I'm like, I completely missed that. No, I
Yeah.
don't know. I tried, like, it just depends on the day. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm going to be sarcastic, I'm not sarcastic with them all the time because sometimes,
Yeah.
like, nah, they be going through stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they
Right.
not feeling the sarcasm or whatever. But
Yeah.
the, like, stereotypical, like, I'll wait.
Yeah.
You know, like, thing as teachers. And I'm like, girl, you're going to be waiting up there to the dawn of time. Just tell them to be
Right.
quiet.
I don't ever say that.
I think I said that one time and I was like, this sounds stupid even to me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
nah.
ever. I
Right.
just stop talking and like do this.
Yeah. Now
Mhm.
that is
I
like,
wait.
get some more.
I'll
like,
literally wait, but I never say I'll wait.
'Cause
I
the
don't think I ever
silence of
say
them-
it.
Sometimes I'll be like, I'm waiting for two friends to listen. Like I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll wait. Like I'll be like, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for two
Yeah.
friends, 3 friends, 4 friends to
Yeah.
listen.
I love that you
Like-
call them friends. That's,
Yeah.
That's
so
cute.
cute.
Friends,
I
yeah.
love that.
Because I always say, you're not my friend. You are not my
I know, I feel
friend.
like
We
that's
are
I'm
not
not one of your little
elementary.
friends.
I'm not one of
Yeah.
your little friends.
Yeah, that's what
okay.
my mom used
Elementary
to tell me
thing.
all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't one of your little friends.
I am not your friend.
Your little friends.
Yeah,
So
always
this
the little.
is- yeah,
I'm not
always
one of
the
your
little.
I'm one of your little friends. You got
Little.
your little shirt on today, but I'm not one of your little friends.
Little everything.
One of my classroom management strategies, and I tell this to first year teachers because it really does work, but it is kind of passive aggressive in a way. But it's like, you know, when you're trying to get middle schoolers to start doing something, I'll be like, oh my gosh, Jimmy, thank you so much for being at a level 0 and picking up your pencil. Thank you, Zoe, for writing your name down on your paper.
Yes.
And I'll say thank you to I always tell first year teachers, I'm like, say thank you to 3 different people.
I'm laughing because my teacher bestie does that. And
Oh, I
I'm
do
like,
it too.
And it
I'm, like,
works.
so
She's like,
over the
thank
top
you
of
for
it.
being quiet in the hallway.
Yep.
Yep.
And like the more kids you think, the kids are like, oh, I want to.
I'm always like, I'll be like, I love
Yeah.
how whatever is standing with a perfect straight tall, like so dramatic.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
why does it work?
it does because they all
Because
want to do
everybody
it.
wants
The
to-
recognition,
everybody
be
wants
recognized.
recognition. They want the thank you. They want the recognition. They want
Yeah.
the positive reinforcement. But it's so funny. I always do 3. My rule is always 3, and then I stop.
Mhm.
But by the time I'm to the 3rd kid, everybody's paying
Yeah.
attention, and now everybody wants a thank you. And they're like, but
Yeah.
I get
Right,
this a lot.
exactly.
the theatrics of the
Right, Miss K.
And I'm like, I'm ignoring you.
Right. You were the main one that I
You're
was
the one I
saving
was trying to
for.
get the attention
Exactly.
to.
Oh, always
I cannot.
is.
Do you know? So it's always, I always feel awkward when like you ask a question and then like they raise their hand, but it's like they answer it, but it's like completely not
Off.
even in the ballpark of like what.
Oh,
the-
every time that happens, I'm always like, I was like, yeah, for sure. Like that's so cool.
And then I go
Anyone
to the
else
next.
have? Like,
Because I don't want to be like, that's
oh,
wrong.
I know.
You know, like I
I'm
just
bad
am
because
like,
I say it's wrong.
I
do.
I can't.
I
'cause
somehow try to make it right. Like I'll be like,
Do
yeah,
you
like
mean?
I can see how you would think that. Like, like try to like somehow
Yeah.
like gaslight
Connect
them.
it. Yeah.
Like,
like, yeah, you made a
teaching is
connection.
manipulating
like,
and gaslighting.
Yes. It's a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm always like, okay, yeah, okay. So also,
Yeah.
Would
Because
you
I-
like
Would you like to say something?
I will say I either just completely ignore it and go on to the next kid, or I'll be like, you know what, you're a little off base. Let's see if someone can get us closer. I'll say something like that
Yeah.
because I don't want
Yeah.
them
It's
to.
awkward. Like
It
there's
is
some situations
awkward.
as teachers is awkward. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is public speaking every day, like
Yeah,
to a hard
it
audience.
is. It is.
Like
To a-
I don't.
Right.
To
A
a
tough
very
audience.
hard audience.
I'll sometimes like give incentives like stickers or whatever, and I'll be like loudly being like, "Wow, you're doing such a great job. Would you like a sticker?" And I'm like, "Does anyone else want a sticker? I wonder if anyone else likes stickers." As I'm like passing,
I
I'm like,
don't know why
"Here,
it
have
works.
10 stickers." Like while you're like
It's
side
needed.
eyeing them, you're like,
I don't
like,
know why
that
it
would
works.
totally work in middle school though too.
But
They
it's
would be like
like,
yeah.
stickers.
like
I
stickers.
thought middle schoolers didn't really care about. They like
Yeah,
stickers
Bob.
too.
And now there's like really cool stickers you can buy
Yes.
that are
yeah.
just cute.
They
Yeah.
like stickers
And
or
they,
stamps
like you
on
guys
their
probably
paper.
like to put them on their
Mhm.
like like if they have like Chromebooks or
Yeah,
if they
they
have like
love
their
putting it on
water
their
bottles.
Chromebooks.
Like
Yeah,
I bet
they
they
put it
like
on
to
water
do
bottles,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, they love all that.
Our
It's so
kids
cute.
like
Yeah.
their math class. They get stickers and they all put them on their forehead.
Oh, okay.
And like they had like a really like immersive day in math.
Yeah.
Like the whole 6th grade has a sticker on their forehead. Like,
Right.
It's just like it's their thing they do.
I've
I'm
never
gonna showcase
seen
I've never seen it before in my life until
right
I
in
got
the
to
right on that forehead of theirs. Huh?
they put it right on. They don't put it on the cheek. It
Mhm.
goes right here. You gonna see I got to answer right.
They want it to be known.
Everybody's gonna know I'm smart
I
today.
got
Yeah,
a sticker
for
right on
Aw,
my.
that's kind of cute though.
Don't
They're
you
proud.
feel like there's a lot of like finessing that goes into like teaching?
I feel like we are like actors. Like I feel like I'm
Yeah.
constantly just like
the kids that are watching
so
the podcast are,
theatrical.
They're like, I've been living a lie.
Yeah.
this whole-
They're like, you mean to tell me you really weren't being thankful that I was quiet in line?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, Miss K, you've told me multiple times that you're thankful for me. Is this
Right?
all a lie?
I'm so
You
thankful
don't
that
think
you're
I'm
standing
LeBron James
quiet.
when I hit the door frame?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Every time my students are down on the ground, like rolling around doing WW, I'm like, all right, John Cena, enough.
Yeah.
But
They
they
have
don't know,
no
like, they don't know
idea.
their
They don't know who
references.
John
Yeah.
Cena is.
Oh, I love doing that. Like, all right, John Cena.
If
Or
a
like,
kid-
there's times where one of my students will like, they'll be like doing a brain break or something, and sometimes they're like getting down, and I'm like, okay, enough with the like magic mic. Like, I'll totally like reference stuff, but they have no
They don't know.
idea.
They don't
I would be mortified if one of the kindergartners was like, "Oh, my mom watched Magic Mike." Like I would.
we went to the Magic Mike show the other
God,
day.
could
Like,
you
even when
imagine?
the Squid Games came out, the kindergartners were
yes.
quoting Squid Games though.
Yep.
Like they
The
did. know.
kindergartners?
We had kids playing like
Yes.
Squid Games at recess.
Yeah,
the
they
other
playing
day.
red light,
What?
green light at kindergarten.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do remember hearing about that when it
That's
because
weird.
I thought it was just middle schoolers, but they were like, no, my kindergartners
Yeah.
have been like because people were like in
We
an
had-
uproar.
We had kids talking
I'm
about
upset.
it for the longest time. Like it, the clown.
I am scared to watch that as an
yes.
adult.
And like Chucky.
Well,
like,
that
I'm like,
is
why are
kind
we
of it
watching
is
this?
geared towards kids though. That
It
well, they're because they're kids.
Not that young of age though.
Nuh-uh.
Not that young, no, but middle schoolers.
and it's like I don't watch any cartoons or kids movies.
I was
don't
like,
know.
I was
don't know
like,
what they're
a
kids
rated
are.
R
Yeah.
movie. I have something to say
She's
today.
like, I saw like the Poltergeist when I was in like first grade.
Like,
like
I can't watch any of that stuff. I'm a chicken. I'm like,
well,
I'm
they're
not
like the
watching.
main characters in it are like preteens, so
Yeah.
never seen
or
that.
like maybe tween. I guess
Never
tweens
seen
and
it, so I
preteens.
don't
Yeah,
know what that.
It's adorable. It's a
good.
great.
It is
It's
really
not
good.
adorable.
I
It's
will
a
never
great
in my life.
movie. It's
It's
a
not even
great
that
movie
scary.
about
I think it's
overcoming
actually
your
pretty funny.
fears.
The
That's the
character is
theme.
like, it's overcoming your fears.
Mhm.
I can think of other ways to look at a theme of
Yeah.
overcoming my fears, and it's not that. Because if I wake up in the middle of the night and it looks like whatever its name is
Yeah.
standing at the end of my bed, I burn the house
what
to the
is his
ground.
name? Is it-
Pennywise.
Pennywise. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Amateurs.
just
We weren't watching it when we were like 7. Okay.
I watched the original at a very young age.
Are you serious?
Yes, it was on Sci-Fi all the time. I remember.
I feel like
it.
this explains so much about you.
Okay, real talk. Do you know how many decisions I make in a single school day? By the time I hit the wine aisle at the grocery store, I'm staring at the bottles like I'm trying to read hieroglyphics. Is this one good? Is it dry? Is the label lying to me? Who knows? I've wasted so much time guessing and usually end up walking out with the one that just has a cute dog on the label. That's why I am obsessed with our sponsor, Naked Wines. This isn't some fancy pants wine club. Naked Wines connects you directly with independent winemakers, actual humans with stories, not giant wine factories with marketing budgets. So not only is the wine amazing, but you're supporting real artists at their crafts. They recently sent me a Tempranillo from Spain. Chef's kiss. I cracked it open on a Friday night, put my phone down, and just chilled with my people. And here's the kicker. I got 6 bottles for just $39.99 using the code TOD at nakedwines.com. That's less than I spend on one therapy Target trip. Naked Wine skips the retail markup and sends it straight from the vineyard to your doorstep, so you're saving up to 60% without sacrificing quality. No membership fees, no pressure, and you can pause anytime. Just delicious wine, great people behind it, and one less decision for your overworked teacher brain. Go treat yourself. You deserve it. Now is the time to join the Naked Wines community. Head to nakedwines.com/TOD, click Enter Voucher, and put in our code TOD for both the code and password for 6 bottles of wine for just $39.99 with shipping included. That's $100 off your first 6 bottles at nakedwines.com/TOD and use the code and password TOD for 6 bottles of wine for $39.99.
Like the more we like deep dive into your history, it's like, okay, this checks out.
Yeah, it
Like,
all checks out.
Yeah, it does.
One thing, this is off topic, but so I do independent reading in my class every day for 10 minutes, and I think the kids think I'm being passive aggressive when I do the following, but
Yeah.
I'm actually like really happy for
Yeah.
them, is that when they finish a book, like I freak out every time. I'm like, they're like, hey, I finished my book. What do I do? I'm like, you finished your book?
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I'm like, dude,
I
like,
should start
how
doing that.
cool is that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just finished reading a novel
Yeah.
by yourself.
Like trying to hype them up, but they're like, okay.
And they're
like,
like,
my bad, I really didn't read it.
well, they look at me like I'm messing with them. I'm like, because it is like, I genuinely am so
But no,
excited.
it's amazing that you read. Yeah, you read.
And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
that's so cool. And they think I'm being passive aggressive and sarcastic. I'm like, no, I'm like legit happy for
Right.
you. But maybe they are looking at me because they're like, I didn't actually read this book. I don't
No,
know.
they're
Probably.
looking at you like that because especially if depending on like their reading level and like how long
But,
it took them to.
You know, they're reading graphic novels and stuff, but still like,
though.
I'm super excited for
Yeah.
them. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, she
I think it's awesome that you
serious?
do that though.
Yeah,
think
like
it's
I
really-
get, so, I want to get like the person that I got a lot of my stuff from. I don't remember her Instagram name, but she uses like a buzzer anytime they finish.
Oh, that's cool.
Their
That would
books,
stress
and
me out. I'm like, please don't.
I don't know if I could do that.
That's like going to a church and they're like, "Are there any guests here? Stand up and introduce yourself." How about I'm about to leave?
No,
Like,
that's
that's
not
happening.
I'm
All
gonna
right, let's
die.
go around the room.
No, let's
say
not.
your name, what you teach,
that's
your
the
favorite thing you
worst.
did this
Why
summer.
is it I cannot remember anything in a succession when they make us do that?
Oh no,
I'm like,
I know.
What were we supposed to say? Our
They're
name
they're
and
like,
our social security number?
Yeah.
Like,
whereas like, give us a fun fact. I'm like, I don't, there's nothing fun about
not
me.
fun.
I
I
don't-
know,
I'm
right?
not
I haven't
fun.
had fun since
know about you.
1998. I don't know what fun is
Right.
anymore.
I hate when they do that because I'm like,
One
I-
fun fact, I'm like, I'm really open. I think everyone knows everything about me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't
What are people
know.
not going to know about me?
I'm
Like,
always sarcastic when the kids, because I can't stand when they do this. It drives me crazy. Did you grade my test yet? You just turned it in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did grade your test.
It's already in the grade book.
Yep.
as soon as it touched my fingers, it was magically
Yeah, how'd you
graded.
know? I already
Do you
did
know
it.
what
Yeah.
grade I got in your class? Yes, I keep all of
Yeah.
y'all's grades in a
I do
in a
always say
log
that.
in my mind.
I always say,
and I can pull them out at any point in time. I am the John Wick of memory of teachers. Like, no, I don't know your grade.
I do
don't
always
know.
say, of course I know your grade. I have 100 students and I know every single kid's grade. I always say
Every single
100.
one of 'em.
Yep.
every
I know 'em
single
all.
one.
the funny thing that we kind of have like a running like thing that we just keep going with is like all of us. They always ask us if we're like whenever my like coworker comes in the room, they're like, "Is that your brother?" Like they think we're like all related, and we're like we just go with it. We're like, yeah,
Yeah, that's my brother.
like
How'd
and
you
then
know? Do
yeah,
we look alike?
like anytime
You say yes to the
little
kids?
kids
Do they
look-
genuinely?
of
Oh my
course.
Little
gosh.
kids
and then like they'll come and they'll be
worldview
like, oh, I saw your brother, and I'm like, who? And then I'm like, oh yeah, Mr. N, my brother.
Not you forgetting
like,
about the lie you told that you got to
I
keep up
know,
with.
I
Him.
know.
I
I'm
don't
like,
have
wait,
a brother.
Who? Which brother?
I
Like,
don't have a
yeah.
brother.
but yeah, they believe.
See, it's the opposite in middle
Everything.
school. If a man comes into my room, they're like, "Do you
Boyfriend.
like
Is that your
him?
boyfriend?
Do you like him? He likes you. I
So
can
y'all
tell."
dating.
I'm like, I've said 5 words to that man. I don't even know his first name.
It's
And I
always
don't
the
even know-
custodian too. Why do they always think we're dating the custodian?
Any man that because sometimes that's like the one
only
of
the
like
one man they
one of
see.
like 5 men in the school.
Yeah,
like
that's
are you guys together? Yes, we just got married yesterday.
Yeah.
like
He's
I
my
don't-
husband.
Sometimes I don't know how to respond to stuff, but with sarcasm.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
for
'cause,
sure.
Like, why are you telling me 5 minutes before this
Yeah.
is due
Yeah.
that a snake crawled in your book bag and ate it? Wow, that's
Wow,
crazy. Where
that's
was your
so
book
crazy.
bag?
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Tell me, how did you
everything.
escape?
Yeah.
Like how you were you in fear for your life?
Yeah.
A real snake,
I'm
like
so
a live
sorry that
one.
happened. That must have been so scary.
Yes, you must be so.
Like I'm so sorry you went through that this morning.
Because
like, are
sometimes
you
they
okay?
say stuff and I'm like, I don't know how to cope other
I
than to
don't know what
respond with
to say.
sarcasm.
I know for
Yeah.
sure.
Because I the answers are on the board. I gave
Yeah.
you the answers.
Yeah.
Why did you not write them down?
Mm-hmm,
I don't know. My pencil lead broke, and then I got up to sharpen
Pencil
it, but then
lead
you told
broke.
me to sit down, so then I couldn't sharpen it, even though I still stood there and sharpened it because I was making eyes at the girl that was looking at me across from you. And so I'm
Oh,
like,
Lord.
sit.
My
Anytime
favorite
a
is like
kid-
they'll say
Yeah.
like they'll like I'll like be like, is that anyone? And then like they'll raise their hand already. And I'm
Oh,
like,
I hate
wow,
that.
you must be like a mind reader. Like you are so smart that you know what I'm gonna say before,
before I
it
even
even
said
leaves
it.
my mouth. Like because they're like raising their hand, and I'm like, babes, I didn't even say
Babes,
anything.
you don't even know what I'm
I
talking
didn't
about.
even say anything
You
yet.
did-
Like,
We haven't even
mind reader.
started the lesson yet,
like,
so you don't even know what
must be,
topic
like,
we're
really
on.
smart. Like I
Gina's-
didn't even have to say it yet. You already knew it.
If kids are up out of their seat when they're not supposed to be, I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, Jerry, are you lost? Are you lost? Did you have a hard time getting back to your seat? Oh my gosh, you want me to help you get back?" And they're always like, "Whatever, Miss K."
I'm
Like,
starting to realize most of my teaching is sarcasm. Like I'm.
Yeah, you're like, I don't use last, and then you hear us, and you're like, okay, maybe.
I'm like passive aggressive the entire day. Then
I know. It's like, gosh.
Like that's crazy. Like if I ask,
Right.
like, "Hey, does anybody know the answer to this question?"
yeah.
Me. Yeah. What is it? Can I go to the bathroom? Wow, that's crazy. That wasn't even the topic of the conversation. But sure, you know, like
Yeah,
if
you gotta go.
maybe the answer's in the bathroom. Like, go get it.
Ooh, I'm
Come
gonna
back.
steal that. I'm gonna steal that one.
If the answer,
I
some
like
of these
that.
kids, when you send them to the bathroom, they're like Frodo from Lord of the Rings. They're going on a long adventure. Got me on an adventure.
Oh,
I'm
yay.
like, where were you?
They're skipping around, having a good old
Probably
time.
vaping.
I know. I always say, "Did you fall in, or were you taking? You know, did you get? Are you wet? Did you fall in?
Yeah.
Or-
To the middle schoolers?
Yes, I say that all the time. Did you fall into the
feel
toilet?
it.
Are you okay?
Use that.
Are you good?
My favorite is when they're like, when they say that they're like super hurt or something, right? They're
Yeah.
like, I fell at recess and I like hurt my leg so bad. And then they like run off to their desk and I'm like, it is a miracle.
Christmas
Like,
miracle.
I don't know how you went from breaking your leg at recess
A
to
Christmas
running
miracle.
across the room. Like,
You-
I am
Christmas
so
miracle.
impressed. Like, you have really
They're
fast
gonna do studies
recovery.
on your body. 'cause
Yeah,
you're so,
like you are.
Christmas
Like, I'm
miracle.
so impressed by you.
Have you ever seen a kid hurt themselves and start limping on the wrong side? That they
Yes.
said
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I'm like,
yes.
dude, stop it. Just,
Yeah,
get
Like,
it
just
together.
please,
stop.
man.
Like, please.
Like,
yeah.
please. It's like the way you're limping, your injury would be that you would be in excruciating
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
You
right.
would be.
And maybe they think they're finessing us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I'm
we
sure.
like,
I think they are trying.
And then they
to.
think that we believe it because we're being super sarcastic.
and they're like,
it's a
dude,
bad
I got
like,
it.
yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Right.
Like we had a kid hurt himself one time. And like obviously, like if we thought he was hurt for real, like it, but
Right.
he was
Right.
always doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, but his his explanation of what it was, I said, hey, man, what happened to you? Why are you limping like that? He said, my hip muscle detached.
You're
oh, my, some
Honey.
dramatic story.
honey. You'd be in the hospital, babe.
Not his hip muscle detaching.
And the hippie was limping.
Not even stop.
I was like, if you're hip, I'm proud of you for knowing the word detached.
Yeah.
I know that's
That's
a
a
big.
good-
That's a good
And knowing
word.
that there's
$20.
like muscle, like
That's a good $20 word.
That's a good word. It is.
But the
For
rest
middle
of this
schooler,
is
yeah.
not computing
Yep.
because you know it detaches, meaning it had to
Right.
have been attached to something. And if it's not attached, it does not hold together anymore. So
Your
your
leg would
logic
be
is faulty.
You'd
Right.
be just a flopping
Oh,
around,
no.
Your
dude.
logic is faulty.
Yeah.
I always love to when they're like, I don't want to do this right now or whatever. And I'm like, me either.
No, I
but
say
I
that
have
a
to
lot.
be here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry about
Yeah.
you and me both, buddy. Like, I don't want to be here either. I wish
Yeah.
I was at
The
home too.
amount of
But you know what?
times.
Like,
Yeah.
I know.
The
And then they're
amount of
like,
times I'm saying
they're
that.
like,
I'm
wait,
listen.
what? Like,
You don't want to be here either? No.
the funniest
call
is when
my
they
mom
find
and
out
go
in
home?
kindergarten that they're like, this is your job. Like, they think that I'm just like there hanging out with them or
Yeah,
something. Like,
like,
when they
this is
find
your
out that it's my
volunteer
job,
work.
they're like, this is your, you have a job?
Oh,
And I'm
that's
like,
so cute.
Yep. Like, they think I'm like
But
genuinely
you're like your
there.
friend.
Like,
You're just hanging with them.
yeah. Like, I think they
Well,
do.
it's like when I say something about my friends, they're like, "Wait, you have
Yeah.
friends?"
I can't tell. Sometimes I can't tell if they're being sarcastic. I'm like, do you
they
really think I
genuinely
don't
mean
have
it.
friends?
Yeah, I was
or-
like, "You really don't think I'm that
well,
cool?"
my kindergartners, like, they're always like, how old are you? And I'll be like, tell them my age or whatever.
I'll
like,
never let them guess.
but you're not married? And I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
get that.
I'm not married. Then they're like, don't you want to be married? I'm like, not really, like, it's fine. And then they're like, but don't you have a son? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, how do you have a son but you're not married? And I'm like, go ask your parents. I don't know.
most
Like,
I wouldn't know what to say to that one. I'd be like, "What do you want me to
Jess?
say?"
Do you remember Jess said when she was pregnant, one of her, did she teach third grade?
I feel like she taught fifth. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Upper
but
elementary.
The Jess teacher tells of Miss Smith, she said that when she was pregnant, one of her kids came up to her and said, I know what you did.
Stop. When
would
I had
die.
my son, I had just came back from my maternity leave, and I don't know why, but my students were talking about something about like where do babies come from or something, and
Oh boy.
or like
I
where do
won't
they
touch
come
that.
out? They said
Kindergarten
They
is
said where
like-
do they come out of?
Ask your mama.
And I wasn't gonna say anything, right? Because I was like, oh, that's like not like kind of like a
School, yeah,
question
ask
for
your
like,
mom,
yeah, or like
ask
ask
your
you should. I
mommy.
said like you should ask your like mom where you were born or whatever or how you came out. And one of my students like knew, and she goes,
Gosh.
you come out of a vagina and it hurts really bad. And then they all looked at me because they knew I just came back from my maternity leave, so they were looking at me like
Were they looking at
that
your like,
happened.
crotch
They're like,
area?
they're like, and I was just like,
Kindergarten is lawless, bro.
I know.
I know.
Oh
She
my
just like,
gosh.
and I like messaged her mom. I'm like, hey,
Yeah, because
so blah
happened.
blah blah, like told the whole class like about childbirth today, and like I was like mortified because the whole class
I
looked
would
at
be
me because it was
mortified.
right when I got back from maternity leave, so they knew that I just had a baby. So then they were like looking at me, and I'm like,
I
I'm
would
like,
be-
like,
This is
like I'm not gonna
kindergarten, I would run
confirm or
out.
deny, but I was
You're
just
like,
kinda
I don't know
would
what to
run out.
say right now.
I would literally run out.
Oh,
Like I would be like, I
my
gotta go.
gosh.
I was like,
it was-
someone's calling me.
some of the
Oh.
time they just say stuff though. They don't know. Like she's just like, yeah,
No.
that's what happens, and I'm just like,
I would
Anyway.
The
be
fact
mortified.
that and then just blurted it out to the whole class.
I know,
Hey,
right? She's
Like,
not.
good for her mom for telling her, but like also
Please don't say that.
next time tell your kid like, but if anyone says anything, like don't say
Yeah.
it.
The amount of
But
times I had to
they
tell
can't
Peyton before we
control
walk
it.
out the, hey, don't say that at school.
Yeah, don't
And
say
Right.
it.
Yeah, I know you're so awesome and so smart. You're so great. Don't say that at school,
Yeah.
please. Like, keep
I
it to
love you.
yourself.
You're great,
Just-
but
Right.
Yeah, don't say that. At school.
Right.
I would freak. I'd probably be a bad
Yeah.
kindergarten teacher because I'd be like, I'm finna go. Can y'all come get them?
Yeah.
I would
I quit.
be laughing too much. I think I would just start laughing.
Oh, there's
a
times where I
lot.
definitely just start laughing.
Yeah, I was
You
like, I
can't-
don't
sometimes you
Because
just
they
like,
don't
can't
know.
not.
Some of
Yeah.
them they don't. They
Yeah.
have no idea.
And sometimes
like, what
they'll
they
like
just said.
swear and say a bad word, and it takes everything in me not to just start laughing.
Yeah.
The
Like
kindergartners,
because they'll just like innocently just like say something, and I'm like, and I'll just be like,
I'll
the
have
kindergartners
kids
be cussing.
oh yeah.
because they probably hear it like from
Oh, not they be
you know
cussing.
Or
other
they'll be like,
places.
they'll like flick, like I have a student who like flicks everybody off all the time, and they'll come up to me and they'll be like, blah
You
blah
can't
blah.
do that.
He's flicking everybody off, and I'm like, no, he's not. I'm like,
No, he's
what's he
not.
doing?
You
And
don't
then
know
they'll
what
like
to
do
do.
it, and I'm like, oh, so
Oh,
he
don't
is.
show me.
He is like okay, or like they'll come up to me like, this person said the F word, and I'm like, oh okay, like what did he say? And they're like, oh, what did he say? And then they'll say it, and I'm like, oh shit,
Because I'm like, I thought they were gonna say frog.
I know, right?
Or no, sometimes like the S word is like stupid or whatever, and then
Right.
I'll be like, oh my god,
Right.
it's so bad. I can't believe you said that.
Yeah,
girl.
Peyton told me
Like,
stupid was a cuss word the other day, and I said,
I bet their
No,
teachers are
it's
saying,
not.
"Don't say stupid. That's
Maybe.
not a nice word."
I'm
And
like,
then
you're
she's
not
taking
allowed
it
to
as,
say
like,
stupid,
yeah.
Peyton, but that's
Yeah.
not a cuss. That's not a swear word.
right.
I have students like we'll all be like in a casual conversation about a text we're reading because we have
Mhm.
like a lot of discussion based stuff in an ELA classroom,
Mhm.
and they'll just accidentally cuss like in the middle of the conversation. They'll just because they think they're talking to their
Yeah.
friends, and I'm like, and everybody's like, oh, and I just look
I
and
just
I'm like,
skate
oh.
past it. I just keep going.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and it wasn't anybody's fault. Let's just keep it moving
I try
because
not
at
to
my
draw
school,
any
if they
attention
cuss,
to
we
it.
have to give them a referral automatically. Oh yeah, like if it's an angry
Really?
cuss
Everybody
word.
will be wrote up.
I know. I was like,
If it's an
oh.
angry cuss word, like we do write them up. That is like a school. Yeah, like my school is strict, and
They laughed at me when at my old school. I tried to write somebody up for cussing. They was like,
oh
we
yeah,
can't
my,
write them up.
every
Like,
other school I've
and?
ever taught at, they're like, "What do you okay?"
Yeah, they're like, why would you
But
write
at
this
this
up?
school, it's pretty strict. But if they
Dang.
if they just accidentally say it and they look mortified, they're like, oh, I'm like, don't even. Let's just keep
Yeah,
going.
They're like, girl, I thought we was at book club.
Yeah, I'm like, they forgot where they were for a second. I'm like, that means you feel comfortable in my
Yeah,
class. That's
I'm
nice.
like, yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
That's
I
good.
forgot you
But
were in a school environment.
Sometimes, like, if I'm like laying down the law and I'm like,
Mhm.
listen to me, you're not gonna do X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah, and a kid will chime in to back me up. I always look at them and say, listen, you can be an ESPN commentator when you're an adult, but not today. And I always say that, and they're
I
like,
love it.
they get so embarraed that I say that because I'm like, I don't need your backup because now I'm
Yeah.
mad. You know, I'm
Yeah,
mad.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
when
yeah.
so like, I don't need a 12-year-old backing me up. I'm 34.
But then why do they act like we're being like so? Because I'm like, I said nicely, hey guys, I need y'all to
Right.
quiet down.
Right.
Hey,
Hey.
quiet down.
Yeah.
Like stop. Then I'm like, hey, I said quiet down. They like, why you got an attitude? What did he say on Schitt's Creek? I have asked you thrice.
Thrice.
I have asked you thrice to calm
I know.
down.
They always act like the first time we say something, it's like,
Yeah.
honey, I've been saying this like 6 times.
Yeah. You
Like, oh, you was talking to us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was talking to the ghost of students past in the
Right.
corner. Yes, I was
Yeah.
talking to y'all.
Yeah, right. No, the
God.
only student who's talking and not doing their work right now.
Yeah. It's you.
My,
Yeah.
my most dramatic like sarcasm has been when I go start talking to the filing cabinet in my classroom. Like that's like a
I
thing I
love
do
that.
because I'm like, I literally.
I don't know what I would do if one of my teachers did that when I was a
I
kid,
just
Bree.
went over there and started talking to it because I gave y'all the instructions 16 times.
Yeah.
And 15 of y'all have raised your hands and asked me the exact same thing that I said, hey, everybody stop, look at me. I'm going to say this again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
put your pencil down. Stop.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
you see me?
Eyes.
You see me, I see you, see me, see you. Stop.
Yes.
Listen. And I say it again because in my mind as a teacher, if I explain something and a lot of people have questions, I didn't explain it well
Right.
enough.
Correct.
Let me explain it again. I've explained it again. The instructions are clear on the
Yeah.
Promethean board.
Right.
Clear as day. What are we doing? Hey, I go talk to that bookshelf over there. You got glasses on too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a person. You gonna listen to me? Because I was trying to teach them theme and central idea, but we acting like we don't even know what the word theme is.
Right.
This kid just told me he didn't know it was the 4th 9 weeks.
And
what are
you know your
doing?
students are like, yo, I think Miss Bridget.
Yeah, they're like, Miss
crazy.
Richard, what you doing?
I think she's off her meds today.
Now they're used
Something's
to
off.
it. Now they're used to it. They're like,
Yeah.
they're like,
here she
hey.
goes again.
Yeah, they're like,
I'll
can y'all please be
whisper.
quiet so Miss Richard can stop talking to
I'll
the
start
file cabinet.
whispering up front. So like if no one's listening to me, I'll just start whispering and like go on with my lesson. And then there'd be like one kid be like, and then other kids start and they're like, is she
Alert
just
the others.
whispering? Yeah, they're like, hey, she's whispering. We got to listen hard.
Alert the others.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and we're back. Okay, so
I-
here we go.
Yeah,
Remember,
right.
and it really was. It works.
I
the
love the
whispering.
kid that like somebody asks a question that I just answered, and that kid goes, "She just said that. Dang, listen." I'm like,
I love
You're
that when
right.
the other kids start to like say the stuff that you say,
Yeah.
like, and then they like start saying to the other
my
kids.
favorite is she said, "Be quiet."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love you. You're getting an A
Hey,
in
Ro.
this class. I love
I
it
always
so
love like if
much.
I'm standing up there and they're like not listening, I'll be like, "Hello, I'm standing up here talking. Do you not see me? I'm like teaching you about math." Like,
I couldn't do hello in middle school. They'd be like,
Oh.
ring, ring.
I do say hello.
Hello.
Like, hi, hello, anybody there?
Yeah,
I don't know.
my kids play-
exactly.
My kids play all day. They'll be like, ring, ring.
Whenever I'm going over the directions for the third time,
16.
I'm always
time.
like, I know you guys love the sound of my voice so much, and that's why you're not listening the
Right,
first time.
yeah.
Like, you love this weird, raspy voice that I've got, and you just constantly want to hear me talking at you.
yeah, you just love
I
it
know.
so much.
You love it.
I
And
absolutely
they're like,
come out.
we'll listen, whatever.
I think our kids really, especially our middle schools, I really think they like us more than they let on.
Oh, I think so.
Oh, for
Like, I
sure.
think they give
don't
us a
want you to
hard
know.
time because
Yeah.
they're like, my
Yeah.
street cred. I can't let it
Yeah.
be known that I
Yeah.
actually like you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roast you instead because that's my love language. And I'm like, y'all like us
Mhm.
more than y'all
Yeah.
say they
They
all
ha-
like
yeah,
us.
they
I
especially-
think so.
Especially at the end of the school year.
And I think some
Yeah.
of them just tolerate me too. They're like, I can
Oh, there's
tolerate
for
her.
sure the
I
kids
don't like
that-
her, but I can tolerate her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's for
Yeah.
sure kids
Yeah.
that like my first year teaching. I remember thinking like, I mean I didn't think like every kid would like me because I didn't like some of my teachers. I couldn't stand them, but I was just like, okay, like maybe I can find some common ground. Man, there's no
Yeah.
kid I can't find some common ground. Man, there was
Right.
this one kid he couldn't stand. It didn't matter what I
Mhm.
did. This kid, I would say something, he'd be like, "That's not what I said." Like
Yeah.
I would be like, "That's not what I say." He'd be like, "That's not what I said," and I'm like, Are you repeating me? Are you repeating me? It's like,
Are you mocking me?
I know. I was
And the
like,
whole
are you-
year he was like that. He never like.
No, I was like, y'all gotta, because he finna go, I'm finna go.
Yeah.
But
right.
apparently he had like oppositional defiant
yeah. I
disorder.
was gonna say, does
This
he
kid-
have it?
Now he was the first kid I've ever worked that I had ever worked with that like had been diagnosed oppositional
Yeah,
defiant.
yeah.
I had no idea.
It's not
What that
I
was.
think it's
Like,
a pretty rare.
So I the
I
teacher
feel
to
like
me,
that's a weird thing to diagnose because I feel like all kids are oppositional at times.
I'm
like,
defiant. Remember, I'm
Yeah,
oppositional
right,
defiant because
exactly, like-
sometimes I'm like, if you tell me to do something, I ain't want to do it, and don't tell me
Yeah.
what to do.
Right.
So
But
But
I'm
the
like,
kids that are diagnosed with it, you know, there is a difference.
Yeah.
he can't. Like I think like he literally like he
It's just-
legitimately couldn't control it.
Yeah, I'm
like
sure.
he.
Yeah.
I've
It's
had
like-
about 3 kids, I'd say, out of the 10 years. that
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
it was
that's what it is.
But I had to like learn like some strategies to like because it would just make me. That was my first year teaching, so I was
Yeah,
like, I
it's
don't know how
hard.
to
And you
respond to
wanted-
this.
Yeah.
I was
But it's
like, what
the
is going
best feeling
on?
when you get through and have that super good relationship
Yes.
with them.
Yeah.
Like you feel it's like the best feeling. Like at the end of the
Yeah.
year, and you're like,
And
I
he was
came
one
so
that
far
I
with this
never
kid.
like. It didn't happen. Like I could.
Yeah.
And that's
and
okay.
it was like a train wreck. Me trying to figure
Yeah.
out because I'm like, listen, you gotta like interact with
Yeah.
him every day. Like
Yeah.
you need to. You're the adult. The amount of times I have to whisper to myself, "You're the adult" during the day.
I know.
But I
Right.
had to like, I was like, Bree, you got to figure out a way to. He's a kid. You
Yeah.
have to figure out a way to like interact with him, and it was still terrible because I'm like, hey, bro, all I did was ask you to sit down. I just
Yeah.
sat
I think
down.
that I
Right.
think that there's this misconception, and I think what gets shoved down our throats all the times as teachers that we have to build a relationship with every kid. You
and
got
it's not.
you
got to
reach every kid, and
Yeah,
like
it's not
I
gonna
now
happen.
as a veteran teacher, I know I don't have to do that.
My
and
first
it's-
year that made me.
Well,
feel
think
and
about
it's
us as
not
adults. Like,
realistic.
there's people we
Yeah.
mesh with, and there's people that we
Yeah,
don't.
like, and it's
Mhm.
okay.
And you can
like,
still get along with everybody and work
Yeah.
along with
Yeah,
everybody,
and
but you don't have to be their
respect
best friend.
and
Like,
common
right,
decency,
like
yeah.
that kid doesn't like me. He's not gonna like me.
Yeah.
But we are gonna learn how to tolerate each
Yeah,
other
for
Mhm.
sure.
and get through this year together.
Yeah.
But I don't like that pressure and message that we constantly get that we have to be,
Yeah.
every kid we have has to be touched by us and like, we have to
Mhm.
touch
Yeah.
their heart some way
Mhm.
somehow.
I still think
and I'm
we
like,
do though.
There is
To different
ways, yeah,
degrees.
we do, because like if
Mhm.
they hated me at the beginning and now they tolerate me, that is a win.
That's a win.
That's a
progress.
win.
Progress is progress, man.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
is, you know. But there, that I just.
But my first year, that did make me feel like a failure
Right.
as a teacher because I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
what is it about me that
Yeah.
like that's the response? Like, what am I doing that's that's like the
Right.
response.
I feel like that's put on us all the time.
That
Though,
I'm,
like you were
yeah,
saying.
Yeah.
Like,
and they were like, just ignore him, and I was like, I can't
I
though. It's disrupting my
know.
whole class. Like I can't just
yeah, right.
Right, he's a problem.
ignore it. Like I don't.
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
stuff I'm like, can I get a better solution than that? Because
Yeah.
I don't. But there are kids that certain behaviors I do ignore because if I don't draw any attention to it, now I've learned this like as time has went on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are certain behaviors I do ignore because if I draw attention to it, it'll disrupt the entire class because they didn't notice.
Yeah.
And if I ignore it, the kids will ignore it.
Yep.
But as soon as I draw attention to
Yeah,
it, the
for
kids
sure.
are like, it's like mass chaos.
Yeah.
Like I just.
And I feel like we definitely know who we can be like passive aggressive with or sarcastic with, and
Yeah.
who we can. Like,
yeah.
there's definitely, especially like neurodivergent or kids who don't always like pick up on those
Yeah.
kinds of social
Right.
cues
Yep.
and things.
Right.
Like, I feel like as teachers, we definitely have to be like very aware of those
I think, we're,
situations.
I think most teachers, not all, but most of us are pretty natural at that. Like we
Yeah.
know what we're such people.
Yeah.
Like we know people. We
Yeah,
know
and these are somebody's
personalities
kids too. Like I
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because my baby, she little. Like she doesn't
Right.
understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want somebody being mean to her
Right.
with their sarcasm.
I
Like,
have definitely
absolutely.
been sarcastic to kids and it didn't land, and it's like, oh, I did not mean to hurt your. Like it's happened
Right. And you
a
have to
handful
own
of
that
And I've
and
times.
been, I
apologize
am
and-
never above apologizing.
Oh, me
sure.
neither.
Yeah.
Like there's
I'm like,
some
oh my gosh,
teachers-
my bad. I
I
did not
am
know that was going to
sorry.
hurt your feelings. I did not. That wasn't the intention. I wanted to make you laugh,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was a flop.
Definitely.
And I'm
and there's
so
some
sorry.
people that will. There's some teachers that are like, I'm not apologizing
Right.
to a kid,
Right.
and I'm like,
Right.
kids need to feel like their teachers are fair.
I
Yeah.
remember
Honest
whenever I was
people.
a student
And
teacher,
hear them.
my mentor teacher it was her last year, so she was
Man,
checked
they be-
out, honey. She
they be
was
wild
over
in there.
it, and she like would leave the room, be like, "Bye, student teacher," and like leave me all day long. Yeah, but one day I really heard, I had a tough kid, and I was trying to build that relationship and trying to reach him, and I did something that upset him, and I have literally no idea what happened. But the next day I was like, I told my mentor teacher, I'm going to say something to him that I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She was like, never apologize to the kid and let them know that you were wrong. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, you don't ever apologize to the kids. And I was like, but like,
For real?
But that's
Yes.
just like modeling real world.
I was like,
skills.
I thought y'all wanted us to model what y'all wanted us to.
right. I
Right.
was so confused. I was like, what do you mean? Like,
that's
I'm
just
a human
mutual
too.
respect.
Yeah. And so, like, what a wrong thing to tell a student teacher, because
Yeah.
like all the time I'm like, my bad. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
All
Oh,
the
yeah,
time.
all the
That's part of
time.
building relationships with
Yeah.
kids.
Is to show that you're human, that you're willing to say, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Imagine
That's
you-
probably why her kids don't like her that much.
Hey, I'm
That's what I was
saying.
gonna say.
Call a
She
spade a
probably didn't like
spade.
her.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like she don't like. Just like I don't like y'all, and they don't like me.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
their mutual agreement.
Kids will like it does something to if they feel like an adult is being
Yeah.
unfair.
Mhm.
Kids are
Oh, man.
unreasonable. Like
Yeah.
they
Right.
I have seen kids that if the teacher would like just either hear them out a little bit, even if they're in trouble, they
Yeah.
admitted that they're in the wrong, and the response to them is like so like astronomically like
Yeah.
mean and
Yeah.
like hateful, and they're like, "I'll say less."
Yeah.
It's like they're like, "Oh, you gonna be mean and hateful? Now I'm gonna see how mean and
Yeah.
hateful I can be." And
Yeah.
I have watched them absolutely terrorizing, because there's sometimes like even as a parent, like we've learned this, like we teach our kids like discipline, respect.
Yes.
Yep.
But there are sometimes even as parents we pick our battles with our kids. I'm tired
Yeah.
sometimes. It's some
Sure.
stuff like I'm not gonna let
Yeah.
you be outright disrespectful,
Yeah.
but some stuff like is water under the bridge.
Right.
There are people that there are some teachers that they're like, no, it ain't gonna be no water under the bridge. The water is on top of the bridge.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't. And I'm like, you're going to stroke out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
calm
worth
I say that a
down.
lot. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're going to give
You
yourself
gotta
a stroke.
calm down, man. Like
It's
you
not
gotta
worth it.
chill. Like,
Although a
it's
lot of
not-
times when kids are like, they come in upset and I'm
Mm.
like, what happened? What's wrong?
Girl.
And they're like, Miss Jones, and I said, what did she do? I bet it was all her fault. What did she do? I bet she
Is
did
that your
it.
sarcasm?
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
sarcasm
Yeah.
coming out. And they're like, it's not like that. I swear I didn't do anything. I was like, oh, I bet you did nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Right.
You
You're a
didn't do
perfect-
it. I
perfect
bet
angel.
you were
And then
an
they're like, well, I did
angel.
something.
And I'm like, come on, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
right.
know you did a little
I had to
something.
finesse them and be like, okay, but what did they say you did?
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you didn't
right,
do it, I
exactly.
promise. Listen, Ms. Russo, I promise, I didn't do that. They said
Yeah.
I did. Well, just what did they say they wrote you up for?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm just curious. And they're like,
Yeah.
all right, okay, well, actually, and
Yeah.
sometimes I start questioning them, and I'm like, wait, but did you do that? And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, but that's the way they perceived it. But that's not. But you did
Yeah.
exactly what they put
Yeah,
in the
you
write up.
literally
Though.
did it,
Like
though.
they,
Right.
they,
You,
they
like,
not
did
lying on you.
it. You
This
did
exactly
it.
what
you
you
just don't
s-
think it's bad that you did it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
stood on top of the
You
table
just
and
think
told
they're-
them that woman's wig was crunchy.
Yeah.
Like you did.
You
You
said
did do that.
it.
I
You-
ain't say her wig was crunchy, Miss Richardson. I said her wig was soggy. Either way, you
Okay.
insulted her. You know what I'm saying? So this
Right.
is semantics.
Opposite
At
and
this
doesn't
crunchy,
matter
but
which
like, what do
word
we?
you
Who
use.
This is
cares?
semantics at
I
this
know.
point.
Whenever I
Right.
say, I'm like, okay, that's semantics. I'm like, why do I say that to them? They have no clue what that
Yeah,
means.
right.
It's to
I'm
make
an idiot.
myself feel better. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I
Yeah.
say stuff and it's to make me feel
Yeah.
better. The sarcasm is to make me feel
Yeah,
better.
it
Because
is.
Yeah.
Because I want to be like, are you being sarcastic when you say like, I pushed them on accident?
But did you?
Your hands extended like
Right.
this was a full-fledged
Extended.
push.
I watched
How
it
is
on the
this-
camera.
How is
Right.
this an accident?
Yeah.
I pulled the fire alarm on accident. You got to pull though. That's not an accident.
Right.
Like you
You
got to.
fell onto
You
it.
don't just like bump it and
Yeah,
it goes
Yeah.
off.
It's got
Like,
a
you have
cover
to
on
like
it. There's a
That's
cover
a
on it now.
you have to
federal
open the door.
offense.
You had
Like,
to lift the
literally-
cover
Yeah.
and pull. Those are two actions that
Yeah.
you had to complete. But it was
Yeah.
an accident. That's crazy.
That's
that actually would be
crazy.
crazy.
But I think
I
that
do say
they-
that a lot as sarcasm too. Is just in
Yeah.
general. That's crazy.
So
Yeah.
you mean to tell me that fire alarm jumped out at you and
Wow.
made you
that's
that made you pull the
crazy.
fire
yeah,
alarm?
that's crazy.
You mean to
Like,
tell me Wikipedia made you copy that essay?
Shoot.
ChatGPT plagiarized against your will. That is crazy.
That
to me.
is crazy.
That what's crazy is they turned ChatGPT off at my school, and I was like, "Hey, I was using that.
Yeah, like, I needed that.
Excuse me.
Hold up.
Excuse me.
y'all can block it for the kids, but I needed that.
I
was
love it
using
when other like non-teachers are so worried about ChatGPT. They're
They
like,
are
"How are
stressed.
you going to survive?" I'm like, I can tell within the first 5 sentences,
Yeah, if
5
they-
words. Excuse me, the first 5 words of ChatGPT has been used on this essay.
Always.
I assure you, I
Always.
can tell immediately. I
Yeah,
am an
always.
AI
Really?
detection. Oh yeah,
What usually gives it away?
Yeah, we don't have to have an AI detector.
everything.
I've been teaching
about
them for
it.
the entire
Really
school year. I know how
interesting.
you write, even if it's not the whole school year. If I've been
Yeah.
teaching you for a week, that was ChatGPT.
Because I
Really?
yeah, like you just know because like they don't write like that, you know,
Yeah.
because they don't know to put like whenever I'm
Mhm.
doing stuff for you know, I'll always say like a 5th grade reading passage or something,
Mhm.
and they don't know that they should write in a
Fifth
6th grade
Yeah,
tone.
yeah.
Write this essay, so it sounds like it's a college essay
Yeah.
on, you know, The Great Gatsby, and I'm like, dude, you didn't write any
You
of
didn't write
this. And I make my kids handwrite stuff every single day in my
Cannot
class.
read some of their handwriting. I mean, we
Yeah,
do handwrite
yeah,
it.
but like you
Yeah.
know what their sentence complexity is,
Mhm.
and if they're using a comma, that's ChatGPT.
Yeah, because
like,
I'm like, you didn't know what
You didn't know what that.
Because they
you
don't
know-
even really let us teach grammar in schools anymore. Like, do y'all still teach grammar?
I mean, I do, but not as much as I'd like.
I don't
to.
understand
It's
the
not-
logic behind not letting us teach grammar because
Yeah.
they have to know how
Yeah.
to write stuff and like what a complete
Even if they're
sentence
typing
is.
stuff, they should still.
Yeah, but it's like you can't. There's not like not a.
There's no space in the curriculum for it.
Yeah, but
no.
I'm like, how
Oh,
are they?
that's sad.
I guess in their minds because of like autocorrect and like stuff like that. But I would love. I would be curious to know what the logic is behind.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember when we were in middle school, they were like diagramming
Yeah,
sentences
yeah.
and like
yeah.
subject predicate.
Yeah,
like
we
I think
don't
I
do
asked
that
the kid what a
anymore.
verb was the other
Interesting.
day, and he was like onomatopoeia or something. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Whoa.
I saying a figurative language term for what is a verb is crazy.
That's
I was like,
Yikes.
what? I think I laughed on accident because I was like, wait, what? I was like, you want
Like,
to repeat the
That's
question?
crazy.
But
That's crazy, man.
But I don't
even know what to say to
I
that.
don't know who needs to hear this, but we are not doing the kids any favors by taking
No.
grammar out of. They
No.
need, especially in middle school.
I just think you
Right.
need to be able, like I always say, if you can write a solid paragraph by the
Yeah.
time you leave middle school, then you'll be prepared to write an essay in high school. Which then, if you go to college,
Mhm.
that. But like, we have to stay. You know, sentence
can't
structure
believe
comes
they don't-
first.
I can't believe that they don't
yeah.
teach because they have to write. I just don't understand the
Yeah.
logic.
I don't even
behind
think
it.
they teach like cursive or anything like that.
They don't teach
Yeah.
cursive anymore, which I'm like, hey,
So they just print
at
their
least
name.
they write their name. Like for the state test, they have to like write
a
something.
signature.
They have to write their name,
Oh,
and
so
then
they
they
just,
have
like,
to
write it?
sign their name,
Same thing.
and it'd be the same
Oh, I'm
thing.
sure.
Like,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they don't
they
know.
printed it and then they printed it. But
Yeah.
I'm like, at least teach them how to like,
Yeah.
Sign their
even if it's
name.
like some scribble,
Right.
like they have to have some scribble that's
For
significant
sure.
to them. Like you imagine
Yeah, yeah.
printing your name on a check,
I know, right?
which I mean, by the time they are old
Right,
enough to
there's
spell-
not going to be
but you still
checks.
got to sign the back of your credit card. Like
Yeah.
you still have
Right,
to
right.
have a signature for something, and
That
they
is funny to think
don't.
about.
But it's like the
People
kids,
get older teachers get so
mad.
mad. I'm like, who cares about cursive?
I
As
have
long as they can
never-
sign their name. I'm
I
like,
feel
who
like
cares?
that's
right?
the
I'm
only
like, just
time
let
I
them
ever
sign their
do.
name.
Yeah,
that's the
I'm like,
only-
they just need to sign their name.
In my whole life, I've never used cursive besides signing my name.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
My mom still writes
Well, besides
in
like
cursive.
in school when they made us write in cursive.
Oh, I was like,
My
what?
mom writes in cursive every
But I mean,
I
like
write
as
in
an
cursive. I
adult,
like
I
cursive.
only the
You
only
write
time I
in
ever write it is
cursive?
my
Yeah.
name.
Not for
That's-
anything for the kids because they
I was
can't.
gonna say on the
Yeah.
board.
Heck no.
They can't
Are
read
you
it.
insane? They
They're
can't
like,
read.
what language
They
is
can't
that?
read it. They
That's
can't
my
read it
language.
when it's in regular print. You think I'm gonna put it in cursive? I
Right.
ain't looping none of
Yeah.
these letters.
Yeah.
None of these letters are being looped.
No.
Well, sometimes like I just to write fast on the board, I'll connect like, you know, if the word I hate to say, don't know why this word's coming up dead, an E and A. Because I just was
Probably
thinking
this
of
is back to the true crime. Anna watching
This
it.
is so much
I'm morbid, okay? But anytime I write E and A together, I always do cursive letters.
I
And then
guess
the
I
rest,
do too. Now that
like
I
I'll
think about it.
do it real quick. And they're like, what are
Yeah.
those two letters in the middle? I'm like, they're like, I can't read cursive. I'm like, none of that's in cursive. They're like, no, those two letters are in cursive in that one word you wrote. And I'm
It's
like, oh,
like-
that's dead. It's DEAD.
Oh, that's just dead.
To me, I'm like them trying to decipher cursive is me trying to decipher y'all's handwriting.
Yeah.
I cannot. I'm like,
No.
are these are these letters?
Yeah.
And we can't use a analog clock. You have to have a digital.
Oh yeah, my kids can't
You
read a
can't
clock.
because they can't. But Peyton's
Uh-uh.
in first grade right now. They're teaching her how to read an analog clock.
I think they learn
Yeah.
it in first or second grade, and then they don't like
not
like
a
cover
So
it
then why do
anymore.
they? Why do they even? Why then?
So they forget,
I don't know.
and because
I'm
they
like,
don't,
y'all
know.
don't teach them cursive.
They're like,
then-
"What time is it?" And I always point to my clock, and they're like, "What does that mean?"
Do you have a
I have an old
analog
school
clock in your
yeah,
I do too. Yeah.
And they're always like, "Okay, what?"
I just remember as a
like,
kid.
what's
like-
that mean?
Yeah.
They always look at me like, "What?" I was like, "The clock is right there."
Oh god.
I
They
remember as a
literally can't
kid
read
like
it.
looking up at the clock because it was like
Yeah.
school started right at
Yeah.
7:10.
Yeah.
I liked
And
looking at the clock.
I did because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, look at the time.
I know, I think
and
it's
then you
kinda
could see
fun.
like the seconds too, so you like knew it was
Yeah.
close to it or not.
Yeah.
But that means I wonder if they can't read the clock on the
They can't read the
the
clock.
iPhone clock on the screen.
Oh,
it
I'm sure
will-
not.
It's a digital.
It will. It is, but this one is. It
Oh,
stays.
yeah.
It's an analog
I
clock
bet-
and it moves.
I bet they don't even know.
They,
They
probably
probably
don't,
don't know
even
it.
know that's the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, what is
I'm
this?
gonna, I'm
Yeah.
gonna put this under my document camera. Turn my notifications on Do Not Disturb because I would hate for one of my besties to text
Oh
me
my
something
gosh, right.
that's like,
Yeah.
well, let me tell you what such and such did. And
I'm
guess how?
always
Oh, Mr.
afraid.
I see y'all text messages.
Yeah, I'm
But
always
I
afraid of
bet you
that.
I wonder if I put this under the document camera if they know how to read this.
Oh,
Or if they even know
be fun
that
to
their
ask.
iPhone, like I'm like after school, because our kids can't have their phones. They have them in
Right,
yonder pouches now. But I'm like after school, look at don't open the app. Just
Yeah.
go look at where it is on your home screen and can you read what time it is?
Yeah. Oh, none of them.
And they're like, no. But I think it's interesting that Apple has
Yeah,
I
that
didn't even
is
that
notice.
is
interesting.
the
I honestly had never noticed. But I
didn't
never
know
looked at it.
but I was having a random ADHD moment in a meeting or something. I was bored.
Eh.
And I was like
You weren't
looking
paying
at
attention.
No, I was not paying attention. I'm like, hey, pay attention
Yeah.
to my students. But sometimes I realize when my kids look like they're not paying attention, they're ADHD, they're doing something so that
To
they
help.
will pay
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
So
That's definitely true.
I was looking at my apps on my phone and I was like, is the second hand moving?
It's moving.
I realized it on the
I think I just now learned
It
that.
does?
It's
Like,
moving.
it actually-
the
I don't
second
know my
the
phone.
seconds hand moves
Yeah.
on the
Oh.
clock, the analog clock on the. Just in case you didn't know. I
Now
don't
we
know
all
why that's a
know.
random
Thanks,
bit.
Apple. You
I don't-
can
know.
contact us for more.
Teaching us new
A
things.
random bit of information.
Yeah.
But this has been a great episode.
Yes.
Just
Mhm.
it's our last episode together. I love you guys so much.
Oh, it's sad.
You'll see us again
Yes,
together,
you
the
will.
three of
Yes.
us.
Yeah, we
but
have to.
thanks for joining this week's
Yes.
episode. Please follow the Teachers Off Duty podcast and the Board Teachers Comedy Tour. Get your tickets for the fall shows, and please follow me, Honest Teacher Vibes, on all platforms.
Yay, and read away with Miss K.
Miss Sophie teaches.
Bye, best friends.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, the.